F.W. de Klerk, South Africa's last apartheid leader who freed Nelson Mandela, dies at 85. De Klerk released Mandela, his subsequent successor, from prison and laboriously negotiated a transition to democracy, ending a decades-long segregationist system that kept South Africa's white minority in power over the black majority for generations. The two men shared the Peace Prize in 1993 for their work to end the policy, but de Klerk remained a divisive figure in South Africa long after he left politics. De Klerk died at his home in Fresnay from mesothelioma cancer, the F.W. de Klerk Foundation said Thursday. A deeply conservative politician whose party had long supported apartheid, de Klerk surprised his political clan and became an unlikely agent of change in South Africa during his 5-year rule of the country. He effectively announced the beginnings of a new country in one historic speech at the state opening of Parliament in 1990, revealing to a stunned nation that he would free Mandela, legalize anti-apartheid groups, end a national state of emergency, and negotiate to end racial inequality in the country.
De Klerk's political transformation, sparked by worsening racial tensions and the impending possibility of civil war, led him to be cast as a traitor by some conservative lawmakers. It also marked the beginning of lengthy, intense negotiations, during which de Klerk and Mandela developed a complex relationship that occasionally resembled friendship but more often became strained, bitter and adversarial. In 1993, de Klerk and other leaders ratified a new constitution that formally ended decades of racial segregation in South Africa. De Klerk went on to lose South Africa's first multiracial, fully democratic election to Mandela, before taking a post in the new government. But after retiring from politics, he made a number of conflicting comments about the era he helped bring to an end, and he leaves behind a complicated legacy in South Africa. Archbishop Desmond Tutu paid tribute to his compatriot on Thursday, saying he recognized the moment for change and demonstrated the will to act on it. The former president occupied an historic but difficult space in South Africa, a statement from Tutu's office said. Although some South Africans found the global recognition of Mr. de Klerk hard to accept, Mr. Mandela, himself, praised him for his courage in seeing the country's political transformation process through. A convert, he had been more widely cast as an obstructor than a revolutionary, given his lineage and steadfast conservatism. But the brutal realities of apartheid had resulted in violence, displacement, and growing opposition, and de Klerk ultimately recognized a change in course was needed. De Klerk nonetheless created a complicated legacy both during his time in power and after his retirement. In the same 2012 interview, de Klerk caused anger by equivocating on whether apartheid was a morally repugnant policy. "I can only say that in a qualified way, there were many aspects which are morally indefensible," he said. Last year, his foundation issued an apology after de Klerk claimed that apartheid was not a crime against humanity during an interview with South African public broadcaster SABC. "He still has an aura around him. He's truly a very dignified and a very admirable person," de Klerk added. Shortly before Mandela's death the next year, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said Thursday that de Klerk will be remembered for his steely courage and realism in doing what was manifestly right and leaving South Africa a better country, adding he was saddened by his death. Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin added that his vision, along with Nelson Mandela, molded a new South Africa.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.